Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0 in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley. Manchester United have won the Carabao Cup. Erik ten Hag has won his first trophy as Manchester United manager. And Manchester United have won their first trophy since 2017. Carbaro opened the scoring from a header which came from Luke Shaw's free kick. VAR intervened. They were checking for a possible offside, but it got confirmed that it was narrowly onside. Carbaro, what a season he's enduring. He makes a big difference in that midfield. Don't forget he's had a couple of suspensions this season. Man United got Carbaro from Real Madrid in a deal worth 70 million with add-ons included. Manchester United's second goal came from Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford's shot took a deflection off Seven Botman. It initially got put down as a Seven Botman own goal, but now the goal has actually been given to Rashford. Rashford could have had another goal in the game as well. He had a shot, produced a save from Karius. Rashford now has 25 goals in all competitions. Don't forget, Rashford was a doubt for the cup final because he picked up an injury. Wout Weghorst had a good chance in the game, so he was unlucky not to score. Weghorst did get the assist for Marcus Rashford's goal. Weghorst has only scored one goal for Manchester United so far. That came in the first leg of the semi-final against Nottingham Forest. Man United have got Weghorst on loan until the end of the season. Bruno Fernandes could have added a third for Man United towards the end of the game. But, he was denied by Karius from close range. Fernandes could have actually squared it. It was a counter-attack. Newcastle, of course, they had their chances in the game. Milan Saint-Maximin had a good chance. Trippier had a chance. De Gea produced some good saves. But yeah, I'm just delighted that we've got some silverware on the board. We knew it was going to be difficult against Newcastle. Newcastle are enjoying a very good season to their standards. It was Newcastle's first final at Wembley since 1999. Don't forget, Man United played Newcastle in the FA Cup final back in 1999, and that was 2-0. You know, Newcastle have not won a major trophy since 1969. They haven't won a domestic cup since the 50s. You know, since the Saudi Arabians taken over Newcastle, they've seemed to have come good. And Newcastle have become one of the richest clubs in the world since the Saudi Arabians taken over them. Obviously, the Saudi Arabians bought the club from Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley was Newcastle's owner for around 13 years. He ruined the club. You know, didn't put any money into it or anything. And he got heavily criticised by Newcastle fans, and Newcastle fans were relieved when Mike Ashley sold the club. You know, Eddie Howe, got to give him credit. You know, he's done a really good job as Newcastle manager. You know, Eddie Howe did get them to the Carabao Cup final. So that's a positive. Earlier on in the season, got them up to 3rd in the league. You know, if Eddie Howe can get Newcastle in the top 4 this season, you know, that would be remarkable. Because that would mean they'd have qualification for the Champions League for next season, and they'd generate money, then they'd be able to invest. Eddie Howe has been the Newcastle manager since November 2021. When he got officially appointed in as the Newcastle manager, he signed a 2.5-year contract. So he was under contract to Newcastle till 2024, but last year Eddie Howe signed a long-term contract at Newcastle. Before Newcastle, Eddie Howe managed Bournemouth. He was with them for several years. Don't forget, he got Bournemouth promotion to the Premier League. And before then, he had a spell with Burnley. Eddie Howe was the one that replaced Steve Bruce. Don't forget, at one point, Newcastle had Rafa Benitez and they were very good under him, but Rafa Benitez ended up resigning because he didn't get backed by the Newcastle board. As you all know, yesterday, you know, Newcastle were missing Nick Pope. He was suspended for what he did in Newcastle's game against Liverpool. They were also missing Emil Kraft, but he's not first choice. He doesn't get in the team anyway. We were missing just 3 players. Obviously, Martial's still injured. He's been hampered with injuries this season. Eriksen, as you all know, is out until April, early May with an ankle injury. And Van der Beek's out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Doesn't start anyway, you know, he's a squad player. Yesterday was the second time we'd played Newcastle this season. You know, don't forget we drew with Newcastle 0-0 at Old Trafford in the league earlier on in the season. Manchester United's next game is West Ham in the FA Cup 5th round. The preview for that game will be coming up after this video. But Ten Hag is certainly the best manager Man United have had since Ferguson. You know, look at the progress he's made in his first full season as United manager. You know, he's won the Carabao Cup. You know, he's got us to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Got us to the last 16 of the Europa League. I think there's a chance Man United will win the Europa League. And he's got us up to 3rd in the Premier League. Got to say, Man United are still in the title race. The other week, though, Ten Hag said he's not thinking about the title race. Revert back to the start of this season, I did say that Ten Hag's expectations this season would be to get Man United a top 4 finish. You know, it'd be remarkable if Ten Hag could win Man United the quadruple in his first full season. In the summer, Ten Hag needs to be backed. You know, because in the summer he's looking to make more signings. He's preparing a summer clear out as well. I think at least 6 players can leave in the summer. Ten Hag, you know, he's brought players in. Back in January, brought Sabitzer in on loan, who's made an impact. Man United could sign Marcel Sabitzer on a permanent basis at the end of the season, according to his agent. He brought Weghorst in on loan and Jack Butland in on loan. Didn't make a permanent signing in January. Last summer, though, he brought the likes of Malaysia in, Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez, and Dubravka. Ten Hag has spent over 200 million as Manchester United manager. He's enjoyed 2 transfer windows at the club so far. He's also got rid of a lot of players as well. Erik Ten Hag, a while ago, got named Premier League Manager of the Month. He's been the Man United manager for around 9 months. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. Revert back to when Ten Hag was at Ajax, he did very well, didn't he? Because he won every device titles, he won some Dutch Cups. In 2019, he guided Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals and he developed the young players well. But you can see at Man United, he's replicating what he did at Ajax. Now, you know the news regarding the Glazers. It said Manchester United's bids may be too high to convince the Glazers to sell. It said prior to the game yesterday that Joel and Avram Glazer are reluctant to sell Manchester United. There's no assurances that the Glazers are going anywhere. The Glazers want 6 billion to sell the club. In November last year, the Glazers announced that the club was up for sale. And since then, Man United have had a lot of interest. Obviously, Qatar have been interested. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's been interested in buying the club for a while. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for 18 years. They purchased the club for around 790 million back in 2005. Also at Man United, obviously, we've got Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren, who Erik Ten Hag recommended in. You know, Ten Hag is the manager. You know, we've got Benny McCarthy. The other week, don't forget, Man United appointed David Harrison as a new Director of Football of Operations. It said he'll oversee men's, women's and academy teams. Got David Harrison from Everton. We got John Murtough as well. Richard Arnold. Yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless.